First player to receive a franchise tag in the 2024 offseason is T. Higgins. Bengals didn't want him to hit the open market. Obviously, he has a lot of value, so you want to not let a guy like that just walk. Again, I touched on this in a previous video. You don't need a bunch of receivers to win a bowl, especially when you have a guy like Joe Burrow. I think they're good with Jamar Chase. So I would really try to trade T. Higgins if I was running the Bengals. I know he's a fan favorite. I know he's a stud, but you got Jamar Chase. You need help on that O-line. I would try to trade or just some interior help. If not, I'd be cool with a second, honestly. If someone offered me a second for T. Higgins, maybe like a second and a fourth, second and a third, something like that, I get it done. Because not only that, he's going to command a hefty contract, and I just think you need help in other areas. If not the O-line, how about the secondary? How about other places on that defense? Just help Joe Burrow out. The next player to receive the tag this year is Snead. Had a hell of a season. The guy is a stud corner. Apparently, the Chiefs have the same mentality. If they can't reach a long-term deal, they're willing to trade him. From the Chiefs' perspective, I think it's a win-win either way. Obviously, you can't let a guy like that hit the open market. That's why the franchise tag exists, to prevent that. Makes it a little less entertaining for us fans once free agency officially opens, but hey, it is what it is. So if I were the Chiefs, I don't know. I'm good with either way. If they could somehow re-sign him, that's a great move for the team, for the franchise going forward, and that defense, because that defense was young and they were good. So if they could have him around for the future, that's just really good business. But if he wants a brink truck full of cash, then I guess the move would be to trade him. I think a second would be fair. I don't think they could get a first for Snead. Maybe if it's like in the 20s, I could see that happening, but I think a second would be the price that they would probably get for a player like him right now. Either way, I think it's a win-win for the Chiefs. So, next, not official yet, but could be in the upcoming days, or maybe when you watch this, it already happened. Antoine Winfield Jr. for the Bucks. Again, he's a great safety, great piece on that defense. So they're doing this just to extend the deadline to get a long-term deal. I don't see them trading him. I'd be really surprised if they traded him. I think they both want to get a deal done, and I think we'll see that in the upcoming weeks. If not, upcoming months. Now, the last reported potential franchise tag is Brian Burns. There's been trade talk for Brian Burns the last couple of years, mainly due to the Panthers just being a trash, bottom-of-the-barrel franchise, but this guy is obviously a weapon. This past year, he had 40 pressures, 8 sacks, 18 quarterback hits, and in general, Brian Burns, he's that dude. He doesn't get a lot of attention like Nick Bosa and TJ Watt just because of the Panthers as a whole have been really bad the past 2-3 years, and plus not the biggest market, right? I guarantee you if this guy was on a different team, he would be up there with TJ Watt and Nick Bosa, at least from a media perspective. But I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I could see a big deal getting done and him getting paid, but I could also see him getting traded just because there have been many talks the past few years of Brian Burns being a potential trade candidate. I think I'd rather see him traded as an NFL fan right now because I think the Panthers are going to be in NFL purgatory for the foreseeable future. Because I don't know if Bryce Young is that guy. and I don't see them improving at all the next couple years. So, and that's the thing. It's gonna come down to Brian Burns too. Like, what does he want? Does he want to win, or does he want that money? I guess we'll find out very, very soon. Now that I've mentioned all the potential tags that should be official in the upcoming days, here are all the players that are not going to get tagged. Josh Jacobs, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard, Austin Eckler, Derrick Henry, Gus Edwards, Swift. So basically every running back that's going to hit the open market isn't going to receive a tag, which I think that's fun. Again, the running back market is really undervalued right now, and it's been that way for the past 10 years. No one really respects the running backs. I don't really blame them. In my opinion, it's the most replaceable position. But with no running backs getting tagged, I think it's going to be very entertaining for us all once the free agency window officially opens. Earlier in the week, Saquon Barkley followed a bunch of Texan players. That was trending on Twitter for a while. That was a big story. I think Saquon going to the Texans would be mind-blowing. Saquon Barkley going anywhere, I think it's going to be big time. But just in general, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to be interesting. Where's Austin Eckler going to go? Where's Josh Jacobs going to go? Where's Tony Pollard going to go? If Tony Pollard leaves, that means the Cowboys will be looking for a running back. I've heard Derrick Henry kind of being linked to the Cowboys, which I like it. I like it. It's very fitting. But there's also some other running backs that don't have those big names that are free agents, like DeAndre Swift. He's a stud. Like, he had a great year with the Eagles. If I was a team that had a need at the running back position, I would definitely give him a ring. Devin Singletary, like, he had a bounce back year. Like, he was solid with the Texans. Clyde is so underrated, man. And I know, like, he hasn't put up the numbers and stats, but I'm telling you, he can play. He can play. Dude's like Gus Edwards, who just had like 12 touchdowns this past year. Yeah, it was kind of boosted, getting 1 yard runs when they're in the red zone, but still, like, 12 touchdowns is 12 touchdowns. So curious to see where he's going to end up. And then you got Austin Eckler. So underrated. So underrated. Point being, it's going to get chaotic for the running back market, for all the NFL teams. I'm looking forward to it. Who do you want your team to get? Where do you think these running backs should go? Let me know. Honestly, if I had to pick one out of all those guys, I would definitely go Barkley, obviously. He's obviously A1 in this group, but I think Eckler is there. I think Swift is there too. I don't know about Derrick Henry, honestly. I think if you have like a championship level type of team, like, I don't know, like if you're the Niners, why not? If you're the Chiefs, why not? But I'd give him like a 1 year because I don't really know how much tread is left on those tires, but we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited. Let's get it. That's all I got right now. Peace.